Alright, hey y'all. So hopefully y'all have completed the data for your class. If you haven't done that, make sure that you do it because otherwise we're gonna have some weird data. So make sure that you complete that Google form. But for right now, I've pulled some fourth graders' heights. So that's why they're a little short, although this is a 5-foot fourth grader, which is a pretty big fourth grader. Anywho, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a dot plot based off of that information. And then we're going to find the median, find the Q1, Q3. So the first thing I'm going to do is create that dot plot. So I'm going to use Statplet, and I'm going to post that up here in just 1 second. All right, so basically what we've done here is we've created our dot plot based off of Statplet. Again, you're probably not going to be able to use Statplet on your AP exam, so you need to make sure that you know how to do dot plots. But if you don't, YouTube is a great thing, but you need to know how to do that by hand. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time working on that. But if you have individual questions, ask your teacher. So median height, that's finding the middle height. So what you're going to do is you're going to order your numbers from least to greatest and find the middle number. So this is the one where you slash off on both sides until you find the middle number. So I'm going to list my numbers out in just 1 second from least to greatest, and then I'm going to go back and forth finding the middle number. So these are all my numbers. So I would list them off, and I would kind of tick them off back and forth. So what I mean by that is my smallest number on here is 53, and then my highest one is 61. So again, I would have them ordered from 53 all the way to 61, and I would mark off one by one. But that being said, remember Statplet does do that for you. So if you look at the little data over here, we notice that it already calculates the median right here, which is 57 for this one. Okay, so again, you need to know how to do it. Okay, so my median is going to be 57. And when you describe something, you want to make sure that you're always using complete sentences. With AP Stat, you have to use full, complete thoughts. You cannot just put what I just did right here where it says order numbers least to greatest. That doesn't tell you anything. You need to say order numbers least to greatest, and this is how I did it. Okay, for Q1 and Q3, that's the middle numbers of the lower region, which is the Q1, and the upper region, which is Q3. Okay, so middle number of that group. So it's kind of like finding a subgroup. Again, Statplet does do this for you, but you won't be able to use this on your exam. So Q1 is going to be 55, and then Q3 is going to be 59. And 59. Okay, and I would talk about how I ordered numbers from least to greatest, and then found the middle of lower region and upper region. Okay, all right, and that's my data. All right, record the values and then use them to make a box plot. Okay, so we already did. Minimum was 53, Q1 was 55, Q3 was 59, the maximum was, I think it was 61, and then the middle was 57. 57 and 63. Okay, so the way we do box plot is we do our minimum. Our minimum is 53, so that's way down here, right? And then our Q1 is 55, which is over here. Again, I'm using fourth grade data, so that's going to be a little skewed. 57 is also down here. And then 59 is right here. So I'm just going to renumber these so that you can actually see this box plot. So we're going to use a new number line. And I'm actually going to just pull it from my Statplet and then explain it for you. So if I go over to my Statplet, I can change this to be box plot. Boom! And it gives me this beautiful box plot right here. So I'm going to pull this guy and drop him into my little PowerPoint. Make our lives a little bit easier. We love that. It's fun. Right? We love technology. It's great. Okay. So now you're going to see that I've got my maximum chilling right here. This is my max. This is my Q3. This is my median. This is my Q1. And this is my minimum. Okay. Interquartile range is where you take Q3 minus Q1. Okay. So Q3 is 59 minus Q1, which is 55. And so that's going to be 59 minus 55, which is going to give me 4. Okay? So find the IQR, which we did. It's 4. Where do you see the IQR in the box plot? Well, it's this box part of the box plot. So it's inside the box area in box plot. Okay? I don't know if this thing is working. 2 dots. There it is. Okay. An outlier. Now, this is the really important part because we haven't talked about this yet. An outlier is a data value that is way too small or way too big using rules below. Are there any outliers in our data? So for this one, we're going to take our Q1. We're going to subtract 1.5 times the IQR. So we're going to take our Q1. Our Q1 is 55. Okay. And then we're going to subtract 1.5 times 4. Okay, so we're going to go into our handy dandy calculator because it's really late at night and brain hurts. So we're going to do 1.5 times 4. That's 6. So we're going to have 55 minus 6. And that's going to give us 49. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to find Q3, which is 59, and we're going to add 1.5 times the IQR. Okay, so again, going in my handy dandy calculator because it's late at night and I'm tired, plus 59, and that's going to give us 65. Now, here's the deal. What we want to look at is the max and min. Are they chilling inside this region of 49 to 65? Okay, so our maximum over here is 63. So that's inside of our little range, right? And then we've got this minimum, which is 53. And he's chilling inside of this range as well. So are there any outliers? Nah, bruh. Not for this one. Nope. Sorry. Okay? And again, you must show your work on that one. So you can't just go over into Stapplet and be like, hey, girl, hey, like, no. Okay? So I think in Stapplet, sometimes it'll tell you whether or not there's outliers, but not always. Okay? In this case, we don't have one. So then what we're going to do is we're going to split up our data into 2 groups. Again, Stapplet does do this for you, but you need to be able to do this by hand. Okay? So I'm going to take my data and I'm going to split it, and then I'm going to post it in here. And then I would write a few sentences comparing the distribution of heights for girls with the distribution of height for boys. Y'all, I cannot emphasize that. I mean, like, this is really important. When you compare something, you must use complete sentences. You cannot do these lists. You can't be like, the boys were taller than the girls. You've got to write that out in sentences, though. Okay? You can't just put it, boys were bigger. Like that, nope. It's the boys were taller than the girls by this much. And their median was this many points away from each other. You have to use specific terminology in order for you to compare the distribution. Okay, you really want to hit all of these different talking points. Okay, so like, hey, the maximum was bigger than the other one slightly, or it was bigger by 2 inches. Whatever you want to compare, that's fine, but you got to use complete sentences. Otherwise, you're not comparing complete. All right, so last little bit. So one thing that the big takeaway from today is the 5 summary for box plots. So min, median, max, Q1, Q3. That's how you can draw a box plot. You gotta have those 5 things, otherwise you really can't like summarize about data or draw the box plot. Outliers. If it's way too small or way too big, you gotta know these. This is memorization right here. Boom. Gotta know that. Okay? Also remember, you cannot just list out something. You actually have to write complete sentences and compare. Use greater than, less than. Use any type of terminology that says this thing was some kind of adjective, better, worse, indifferent than something else. Okay, so you've got to make sure that you include that. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful or a little bit of a refresher. But if you still have questions, just let your teacher know or jump on the Zoom call and we can make some things happen. All right, y'all have a great day.